This episode of Bouts Talking Bouts is brought to you by Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Winning parlays, if you're looking for them in BKFC, you got to be checking out BK Bet Shark. Here's the thing, $50 buys, you get a personalized bet slip. It's based on your own budget. You can be flexible. It is what works for you. And this guy's got the receipts. You can check out all the winning tickets. You can peep them, and you can do so at Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Check him out on Instagram and get with it. Got them personalized betting slips going on, $50 buys. All right, on this episode of Bare Knuckle Radio, very excited to be talking to an individual set to compete at BKFC Thailand 5, and that goes down on November 4th. We have Chaloemporn Sawatsuk taking on Jonny Tello, both men knuckling up and towing the line, and great getting to have Jonny on the show for the first time. How's your day going there, Jonny?
It's going good, man. My day's coming to an end soon. It's 8:02 p.m. here. Long day of training and work, and just gonna relax until tomorrow morning when it starts all over again. And how about yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm doing well, man. Can't complain. Doing what I enjoy doing, talking to fighters ahead of big fights, and this seems to very much fit within that because I saw you had a post talking about just the excitement of fighting on such a legendary night, just with like the main event being what it is. Can you speak to, I guess, like the level of esteem you put on being on a card like this? It seems like you're looking at it as a legendary night, and you know, it makes sense, but curious to hear you expound upon that a bit.
Yeah, okay, well, I took this fight kind of last minute on 3 weeks notice, and Jam asked me, do I know anybody that wants to fight on the card at 85 kg? And normally I fight a lot lighter, like from 72 to 77 kg. I said, against who? And then I saw the photo of the guy, and I met him many times, and he's actually fought on the same nights that I fought one time. He was a main event on his card, but his card finished like around like 5 o'clock. And then I fought for the evening, and I was the main event at the evening one. He did a boxing fight, and I did 1 9-minute rounds of boxing with MMA gloves. So watching him box, I was like, I seen the movie. I just finished seeing the movie, so I was like, oh, that's the guy from the movie. And I was like, yeah, like I could definitely take this guy. I was thinking, telling myself that. And then when he showed me the photo, I was like, whoa, 85 kg, but it's this guy. I'll take it. It's like a real big bonus, because he's kind of really popular around Thailand, since, his reputation with going to jail and fighting in jail and becoming champion while he's in jail and getting out early. And then the movie, obviously. So, and then obviously it was Sanchai versus Bukau. So it was going to be a big event anyway, so I might as well, if I want to take a last minute fight, it's going to be on a card like that.
That's interesting, though. So you were already, like, fairly aware of your opponent, like, when the bout offer came your way. Like, there was, like, a good grounding in what he, I guess, brings to the table stylistically and all.
Yeah. I know him very well. Like, I don't know him very well, but I've seen him twice in front of me. And, I've seen him fight on TV, too, a few times. So I knew what I was getting myself into. 85 kg. He's actually shorter than me, I think, by an inch or two. So that's actually going to be pretty cool because most guys I fight are like at least like half a foot to a foot taller than me, sometimes more. So it's going to be nice reaching down a bit to throw some punches rather than having to jump in the air sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. And just, what I can glean from his combat sports record, like it looks like he does have a fair bit of, gloved boxing experience, and he has competed in bare knuckle before, getting a finish at BKFC Thailand 3, but I'm kind of curious, like, do you think your, I guess, localized experience in bare knuckle will be the difference maker here, just being that you've had, like, a few more bare knuckle specific fights?
Yeah, well, like, he had one fight against, I don't even know the guy, man, but he was some guy from Phuket, and I think he was from Hawaii, and, the guy couldn't fight for shit, dude. I watched that fight, and it was a pretty easy fight for him. He just kind of picked him apart a little bit. The guy, I don't think he fought in a long time, so I'm something like 10 years, something like that. And I don't know, I was watching that, and I was like, man, that guy probably couldn't break an egg if he whipped it at the wall, So him fighting somebody like at my level, like I fought in like my, I fought in 3 times bare knuckle, but the first time against some guy that was like, I don't know, like 6'5", and then the other guy I knocked out, and then I fought Sinsamut, the guy that's pretty famous and won champion championship, and I narrowly lost that fight. I thought I actually won that fight, but and then he went on to like becoming famous and won championship right after that. And then so I know that he's like a super high caliber level. And then I fought Barry Jones in January, which is arguably one of like the pound for pound best fighter in the world for bare knuckle, and I'm the only guy to go to the distance with him. You know, he knocked out Jimmy Sweeney, you know, twice. So yeah, so it's going to be a lot higher caliber of fight that he's going to have in this fight, 100% for sure. It's not going to be an easy fight. Yeah.
Well, that was kind of what I was thinking too, because I'm definitely familiar with your resume and bare knuckle, and then also your effort to fight, you know, Jimmy Sweeney at one point. I mean, ultimately got canceled, but just adding that in because I think it speaks to, I guess, just the caliber of competition that you've already fought and are looking to fight. So yeah, it seems like you're looking to take on just the best the sport has to offer globally.
Yeah, I really wish that fight happened with Sweeney, but I had problems with my neck. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, but when I fought Barry Jones, he actually fractured my neck when I got knocked down. And I didn't know that until later when I got an X-ray like months later because my pain wouldn't go away. And it was a rough fight. It was back and forth. And then I find out I had like a spider fracture in like the back of my neck, and I didn't even know what it was. And then they told me it was like from contorting my neck sideways. So I think it was from the knockdown. But yeah, so that was the third round, I think, and then we went like 4 more rounds after that. So it wasn't. By the time I got Sweeney, you know, I said yes at first, but it wasn't even better, and it just got real bad. I had a sparring session, and I got hit again, and it was just fucked. So, and then we were gonna do it again, but there was a fall through with the contract, and it wasn't. It didn't work out between me and BKB, like contract wise, and what they wanted and what I wanted, you know. So.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that happens in the game and everything, but good to get some, like, BKB experiences, and now kind of returning to that BKFC Thailand circuit now, just having fought on that inaugural event, so kind of worked out. I mean, seems like a big card.
Yeah, hold on, give me, sorry, 1 second. Is that okay? Just trying to close my door. 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello? Hey, sorry about that. I had someone talking together.
Yeah, no worries. Did you want me to... I didn't really, like, ask a question per se. I was just kind of saying, like, good to get that, you know, BKB experience, and now back to the BKFC Thailand circuit after having fought on their inaugural event.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a fight on BKFC. I was talking to the promoter in England, in the BKFC UK, and I was going to fight against this Italian guy early November, or late November, sorry. But that didn't work out either because the card got changed from London to Newcastle, so they wanted to have more local guys there. They offered me last minute, but it was a bit of a short time frame to get up there, so I just told them I'll do it in January or February, I think they said. And then I got this offer, so I was like, great, my fight just literally fell through, so it was like I was already kind of getting ready for a fight. I kind of like chilled it down for a couple of weeks, but then he told me about this fight. Now I've been back at work every day, you know, training.
Yeah, and just cool to see where you're at in the journey and stuff like that, because, I mean, just like seeing your, you know, backstory and everything like that, just how you got, you know, taken out of combat sports for a pronounced period of time. Like, I was seeing that you actually got bottled and your nose got cut off, which I thought just, I mean, it doesn't even sound like it's real almost. It's so visceral. Like, and you got it reattached and out of competition for years. Like, that must have been so just, I mean, just like cathartic, like indescribably to be able to, you know, get back to doing what you love, but also just like a sense of balance in the life in general. Can you kind of talk a bit about that whole situation? Because it sounds quite wild, to say the least.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say those words. I was thinking the same thing while it happened. I was like, did this just happen? And it was actually at an event that I was promoting. I was promoting a fight that was upcoming in February, and this was the January. And then I was there, and then this whole bottle situation happened. It wasn't my whole nose, it was half my nose. Like the left side of my face. It came clean off all the way down to my like year. I was working security at that time. People used to call me Nelly because I had one bandage on my face.
Okay.
And all jokes aside, it got, after I got surgery, the doctor said I couldn't fight anymore. So that really kind of drove me to like depression in a sense, because when I turned, I think 19, I was like, I want to be a pro fighter. So I had to go through a stint of life, and then eventually, when I think in 2014, I decided to start training again and start fighting, and I was doing like underground MMA in Canada when it was illegal. So and then I was gonna fight on the Hard Knocks MMA division in Calgary, which is like it was like a UFC feeder division, let's say.
Oh yeah.
So I was excited to do that, and then that's when it happened. So I didn't fight for 4 years after that. After a long process of like recovering, both physically and mentally, But it's all good. Shit happens in life. I'm not sour about it. It happens. It kind of brought me to this place in time, and it's not so bad anymore. So fuck it.
Well, I mean, just speaks to the resiliency for sure. I mean, we were talking about it more in the competitive context with like the injury in the Barry Jones fight, but even then still rallying back and being the only guy to have gone the distance in bare knuckle with Barry Jones. So it just feels like there's something inside of you that really, benefits you in these like adversity, focused kind of situations. Like, is that something you just always had within you, that certain, I guess, resiliency and everything?
Yeah, I'm a little stubborn in that sense. Like part of the reason why I started fighting again was because people, I got TKO'd one time when I was like in amateur MMA, and some girl, I came to the gym one day, and it was like a weightlifting gym. The girl was like, "Hey, I know you. I saw you fight one time." I was like, "Oh yeah, you know me?" So yeah, you got knocked down. And I was like, "Yeah, sure, like TKO, And then after that, I was like, "Fuck, am I really gonna be remembered for that video where the guy gets TKO'd?" This is like back in 2015. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going to fucking start fighting again. So then that's when I started training again. And, after my nose happened, literally my nose happened right after that. So I didn't get a chance to rebound off of that. But, it was a serious testament, though, to like your mental health. A lot of people say, anything but the face,
Yeah.
Your face gets disfigured. It's like, come on, man. But it's whatever. I've always been like my nickname, for example, is El Toro, and I never gave myself that nickname. That boxing coach did when I was like 12 years old, and that was just because I used to take a bunch of punches until the guy used to get tired, and then I'd come back and win fights like all the time. So I used to say, "You fight like a bull," So I think that's a pretty accurate description of my personality sometimes, Sometimes I run through rage, and all the things that happened in the past just amplify it. So, like some people get punched in the face, and they're like, ow. And you step back, I get punched in the face, and I'm like, you fucking bitch. And I bite down off guard, and I don't like to lose. Like, it's okay if I lose in other things, but fighting, it's like, it's my thing. I don't want to lose. I do this to be the best, I don't, even if I'm not fighting, I want to still practice in order to be the best martial artist I can be. That's why I do everything technically. MMA, boxing, bare knuckle, Muay Thai, crazy circus shit, like the things I do at Fight Circus. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I was also seeing a couple other anecdotes, like you almost drowned in Thailand kayaking with your girlfriend, and then someone tried to kill you on Thai New Year's. It sounds like you have a weird combination of like bad luck but also good luck at the same time.
Where'd you hear that stuff?
I think I'd seen it from a previous interview that you had done. I think it was like mentioned in passing.
Oh wow, yeah, that shit didn't happen. A lot of other shit happened too. But you know what? I used to say the same thing. I was like, man, I got like the best, worst luck ever, But I don't know. Now life has like come around. I'm 32 years old, and I realized that like everything is just really a test, And if you pass these tests, you get to like keep going on and on and on, and you grow from them. It's okay to fuck up. It's just as long as you learn from them. I think it's a good way to progress in life, rather than being butthurt about something that happened. started going real hysterical, and then somebody found me driving on like a yellow yacht. They were gonna pass by me too, but the one guy was like, no, I think they're in trouble because they thought that I was just waving at them, or she was waving at them, you know. But yeah, shit happens, like I said.
Yeah, no, a wild scenario for sure, but glad to hear you came out of it for sure. You kind of mentioned Fight Circus though, and it seems like you've got to do quite a few interesting things with them. Like you had like the foot in the tire fight and things like that. I think you were getting in on a little, you know, beanbag fight action with Bob Sapp as well and things like that. So a lot of fun with the whole Fight Circus thing. Like how did you get involved with all that? And can you talk about some of the experiences with it? Because it's a promotion I really enjoy.
Yeah, well, John Nutt and FMD guys, they're like some of my best friends in Thailand. So every time I go out there, I go hang out with my boys. And how it started was during the pandemic, I got into a little bit of a financial situation. So I was kind of stuck in a place where I lost a lot of money, and I was like, fuck, I need to fight. Because I actually had a friend one time that his name is Steve Rose, and he fought Triple G, you know, and he fought him. He lasted 5 rounds. He got knocked down 5 rounds, but this guy made $1 million, and I was like, fuck, this guy, it's crazy. One fight, and I have another friend too that not really a friend, but an acquaintance of mine, and that I fought in the amateurs, and he fought like a lot of guys like Errol Spence Jr. and Mir Khan and Danny Garcia, and he got knocked out or lost in every single one of those fights, but he made like a good amount of money. So at the time when I lost, there was a day I lost like $32,000 in a day, and I was like, bro, I'm fucking, what the fuck? So I was like, shit, I need to fucking come up with some kind of money. And I didn't have any work at that time, and I was stuck in Thailand, so I was looking online to see if I could find any fights, because there was almost nothing. And then I saw on Facebook, FMD was doing a bare knuckle promotion, you know. It's called the Bare Knuckle Kingdom. That's the one I did on that hill, like with that beautiful background. And I was like, fuck, I've been in enough street fights, I can do this. So I said yeah. So I called them, and my friend Ryan Donnelly, he was friends with them. He saw my post saying that I'll do it, and then he vouched for me, and then I fought. And then since then, we've been just talking here and there, and then one day they invited me out to Phuket to do that first foot and tire fight. And then, it was a great weekend with the guys. And then since then, we keep in touch all the time. So I actually kind of work with FMD in a lot of ways. I do a lot of things behind the scenes and stuff like that too. So, and then the other foot and tire and the Bob Sapp fight, that was great. It was good to be in the ring with Bob Sapp and getting hit by him. He fucked up my neck, actually. He hit me like a good 12 to 6 on the top of my head. And I think that was the first thing that fucked it up before the Barry fight. Yeah. And the funny thing was that I got into that. I got in that was supposed to actually fight, but they said, no, I don't want you to do anything serious because you have that fight come up in January, because this was December. So we did that pillow fight, and I think I ended up fucking my neck up more than I would have if I just did a regular fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen a couple things like that where it's like there's probably like a bit of whiplash from it almost, and a guy like Bob Sapp, just like the strength he's bringing to it. I mean, I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah, he threw me out of the ring at one point. Yeah. So it was fucking pretty. And one time, every time he hit me really hard, I was like, boom! I was like, I need a break, and I'd go out to the ring and like build my strength back in, like WWE, you know, and then come back in with the pillow. And then, it was a good time. Yeah, good thing to do. Good bucket list to check off, you know.
Yeah, for sure, but it seems like you have really just taken to being out there. Like, I think there was another interview where you were talking about, like, helping, like, disadvantaged dogs more so, like, feeding strays in Thailand, and just seems like you really enjoy the overall, like, combat sports culture out there. So, yeah, is it, like, a, you know, comprehensive, like, good time out there? Like, it seems like you're really taking to it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your research, because you're talking about a lot of things that I know many people knew. Yeah, no, I love Thailand. You know, I was here in the pandemic, and we couldn't really get anywhere after that. So they kept giving us COVID visas for like 2 years. And then eventually, within those 2 years that I didn't leave, I kind of made a living out here. And then inflation just got so bad. Every time I look at my friends back home in Canada or in the States or even in England, they're all complaining about how expensive everything is. You know? So I'm like, why would I go back when I can buy, you know, I spend $50 on a week of groceries here. So expats, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, so it's so much cheaper to live here. So money goes a lot longer, but there's a lot of opportunities in Thailand. You know, a lot of the foreigners here, like just people in general, it's like hustle and bustle. You know, it's like cowboy country a little bit, like where it's like, yeah, Thailand is third world, but it's developed at the same time. But there's a lot of corruption going on here and all that other stuff. But it's pretty sabai, you know. It's like really chill, and yeah, I love it here. Like the weather's good. I'm from Toronto, so it's freezing out there. I don't miss the cold. You know? Yeah. So I don't want to leave beaches and hot weather and cheap food and cheap everything. Doesn't make much sense to go back and struggle with the rest, you know?
Yeah, I'm a GTA lad, so I understand what you're saying for sure. Just been a good long road since that, 2012 John DeGazio Memorial Tournament to the weed boxing nowadays, it seems.
Yeah. That weed boxing was a little bit of a shit show. Like I wasn't actually I said that I wasn't gonna fight smoking weed like on the thing, but I would be on the event because they wanted me to do that because I was making the event. I was the promoter with the other guy, Tello, and then but it's still in the works. We're actually we're going to do it legally now. So we're just getting all the permits and stuff like that. We're talking to the Ministry of we're talking to some people, and hopefully within the next couple of months we can actually do an actual show. Apparently it picked up a lot of steam online, and a lot of people liked it. Conor McGregor posted about it.
Yeah.
But it picked up steam because someone wrote a fake article saying that Mike Tyson was going to be there. Like when the cops showed up, they're like, "Where's Mike Tyson?" And we're like, "What? Mike Tyson's not here." And he's like, "You lie." And then he showed us an article about Mike Tyson going to be there, and then I found out there's like another 5 articles written about this whole thing, and it just kind of blew up. And it all just stemmed off someone lying about something for some reason on some thing. Yeah, but yeah, maybe we can do it still. Circus also, they're involved in this too, John Matt. So we're taking it a step-by-step process. It's apparently a big thing in Russia too. A lot of Russians come up to me like, "Hey, you're that guy on that poster." I was like, "Shit!" I was actually asking them to delete that poster so it wouldn't go around, and then it was just too late. Yeah, when the government shut it down.
Yeah, it just seems like there's really something to it, because I was like sending a link to like a bunch of people who pseudo follow combat sports, but maybe not as ardently as like we do, I guess, and they were just like fired up about it. They're like, "I don't even really know what this weed boxing is, but I'm very into it."
It was there's high rollers, right? And they smoke weed and do jiu-jitsu. It's not like you're drinking alcohol and getting punched in the face, Like, that's a little bit different. It's, like, dangerous. But if you're smoking weed and you're boxing, and you do, like, 16-ounce clubs, like sparring, it's just, it's just more like a curiosity of what it looks like, people want to see. And, it's entertainment at the end of the day, Like, when we work with FMD, we try to focus on entertainment, and then fighting second. But, unless I'm fighting, then I obviously got to do it serious. But we'll see what happens. I am just crossing my fingers that it works out.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just kind of redirecting to that very serious fight for sure. I guess one of the last things I wanted to touch on, because sometimes I'll talk to fighters that really do immerse themselves in that visualization and just playing out how the fight is going to end, and some guys have like a predominant visualization within that, whereas some guys are more like, I'll go out and be adaptable and flow with like how the fight kind of goes, I suppose. Like, where are you at in that binary? Do you have a certain prediction for how this fight is going to wrap up, you think?
I'm gonna, so my plan is just to go out there and kick some ass, in a sense where, my opponent Barry Jones in January, right? He fought again in BYB, I think in June or July, and he knocked the guy out in 58 seconds or something like that. And I was like, whoa, And Mike Goldberg at the end of the thing was actually Paul Marginati was like, I want to meet the guy that went to distance with him in Thailand. And Mike Goldberg was like, yeah, I want to meet Jonny Tello. And I was like, whoa, that's cool, I know Mike Goldberg for since I was a kid, it's the classic UFC voice. So I was like, that's fucking badass, but sorry, 1 second, my dog is coming over here. 1 second. Okay, yeah.
Oh, no worries. I was just asking if you had like a visualization for how you see this fight ending, like a defined prediction, I guess.
Yeah. So, like I said, he ended up knocking this guy out real quick. So, I was kind of like, fuck it. I'm going to try to beat his record. I'm going to go out there and try to, like, lay it on. Like it's like fighting the hood, just trying to lay it out quick. So I come in and I'll capitalize it ASAP and I'll go in, guns blazing. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, if he's better than I anticipate, I'll adapt and I'll work with that. But I'm going in there and trying to knock him out. That's what I do most of my fights. I try to, especially now, usually when I put my mindset that I'm gonna knock this guy out, it usually kind of goes that way. So I'm again saying that I'm gonna knock this guy out. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna really try. So see how hard his head is. So I know I'm hard to hit. So he's probably hit me a few times, but he's not gonna be knocking me out. That's 100%.
Yeah, I mean, some cool insights in there, man. Like, I had a pseudo similar thing with Mike Goldberg. Like, I mean, just and as far as like the appreciation, I guess. But I was interviewing him a bit ago ahead of a BYB card, and he was kind of like asking where I was from, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm from Oshawa. And then just without missing a beat, he's like, the Oshawa Generals, and I was like, oh no way.
Oh, you're from the Schwa, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know you're Canadian.
I think we were just kind of talking, like, he's just, like, getting to know me a bit, and he's like, oh, where are you from? And I was like, oh, I'm from Oshawa, Ontario, and I guess he knows a fair bit about hockey, so he just went right into the Generals, like, announcer voice. It was good.
Yeah, apparently he's friends with John Nutt, and John Nutt told me that he's spoken to him a lot in person, when he goes down to, I think he goes to Vegas sometimes, and Mike Goldberg's there in the past. So maybe he knows me from watching Fight Circus. I know he's a Fight Circus fan, and he sometimes does voice content for the shows. But yeah, it would be cool to meet him one day. That's also another motivating thing where I'm like, fuck, Mike Goldberg wants to meet me. Fuck, maybe I should keep fighting. Maybe I should, keep doing it and see how far I can go. Like I said, the Barry Jones fight was a good learning curve, so I'm going to capitalize on it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I mean, kind of lost track of time talking to you. I mean, I feel like there's tons of questions that are out there for me to ask, but just want to be mindful of the time and schedule. That being said, so in kind of mentioning that, I'm curious if maybe you have a final thought you'd want to add as we're sort of wrapping things up here, Jonny.
No, I appreciate you reaching out to me and doing this interview. I'm going to put on a show either way. Like I said, it's a legendary night. Sanchai and Blue Car are fighting. I'm excited to see that fight. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see, I guess, and same goes for me. Like I said, I love to fight, so it's just, it's something I like to do. So it's not like I'm scared to do this because, well, I like to do it, So, yeah, hopefully it goes my way and keep the shit out of him. Punch the shit out of him since I can't kick.
Yeah, it's going to be a great card, BKFC Thailand 5, looking real solid top to bottom, and really excited for this Chaloemporn Sawatsuk fight on November 4th, and just really wanted to say thank you for appearing on Bare Knuckle Radio, Jonny. Looking forward to seeing this fight when it goes down, but until then, you have a good rest of your day there and everything.
Man, cool, man. Thank you again for everything, brother, and maybe we'll talk again with you soon.
This episode of Bouts Talking Bouts is brought to you by Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Winning parlays, if you're looking for them in BKFC, you got to be checking out BK Bet Shark. Here's the thing, $50 buys, you get a personalized bet slip. It's based on your own budget. You can be flexible. It is what works for you. And this guy's got the receipts. You can check out all the winning tickets. You can peep them, and you can do so at Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Check him out on Instagram and get with it. Got them personalized betting slips going on, $50 buys.